Singaporeans have a special bond with the flavours of home. And it's my passion to spark the connection with every meal I make. I'm Robin Ho, the executive chef of the Privé Group. I run 13 restaurants and supervise over 50 chefs. This August, I'm leaving behind the comforts of Singapore to travel across 4 countries. I'm going to remote places where the guides don't take you, to meet 4 adventurous Singaporeans.
โครงการของเราจะทำให้เด็กมีสิ่งแวดล้อมที่ปลอดภัยที่นี่เพื่อที่จะได้รับการบำบัดและการศึกษาที่ดี
On Libaran Island, you have the green turtle as well as the hawksbill.
Once I started this work,
You never look back?
I never look back.
At the end of this journey, I will surprise them with a classic Singaporean dish to replenish their hearts with a taste of home. I'm Robin Ho. I'm on a mission to bring a taste of home to a young Singaporean. From Bangkok, I must travel another 450 kilometers to arrive at my final destination, Thailand's Phetchabun province. This is what the locals call the Alps of the East, a land of majestic mountain ranges and ancient ruins. This region is a gateway into Thailand and home to spectacular landscapes, but it also hides a dark secret. When I first arrived, I was feeling a bit uneasy because I was the only Singaporean around. สวัสดีครับนี่เข้าโคนไหม I was getting a bit worried if I couldn't find Daryl. Oops, everybody's running away from me. There were people looking at me strangely. Who's this guy? And he looks so fair, he doesn't belong here. I was feeling a bit uneasy and luckily Daryl came and picked me up. Hey Daryl.
Hey Robin.
Okay, finally.
Daryl, nice to meet you. So sorry to break the bad news to you, but we have to travel another 2 hours from here.
Download speed was a bit slow. So how old are you exactly? You look very young.
I'm actually 29 years old this year.
Okay, good.
I just celebrated my birthday last month.
Wow, cool. So this is it, huh?
Yes,
Wow, this is such a beautiful place.
this is Kek Noi. So we're actually about 10 minutes away from the entrance of the village. It looks beautiful, but behind this beauty is actually home to a community of 17,000 villagers. And these villagers, they struggle a lot with poverty, lack of jobs, lack of education, and juvenile substance abuse. We believe in empowering them to stand up on their own 2 feet.
Daryl Tay has lived here for 4 years. He is one of 8 full-time staff members working in Radion International's field office. Set up 11 years ago in the remote village of Kek Noi, this non-profit organization runs programs that combat drug use and domestic violence as well as healthcare workshops. One of its most impactful initiatives is the Street Kids program.
Many of the families that we see in the village, they struggle to make ends meet. They struggle to put their kids through school. Without proper education, the children continue within this poverty cycle.
ที่เราขายที่6คืออะไรคะ
Dog feed
ด็อกฟิลเหรอคะด็อกฟิล
Dog feed คนนี้แหละ Here in this program, we provide the kid with 3 hot meals a day, shelter to stay in, and finally education from primary 1 all the way to secondary 6. And we believe that education is the way for this child to have a shot at a brighter future. Okay, banana คืออะไร
บานาน่ากล้วยค่ะ
Papaya.
มะละกอ
The children like to call me P Daryl. P basically in Thai means older or bigger brother. Rambutan.
ฮะ
Rambutan.
ลาบูตา
This whole place is like a second family. I wanted to go into investment banking or wealth management track, which was my idea of a dream life. Get a good job, climb the corporate ladder, get married, settle down, retire early. When I was studying in SMU, one of my friends, she actually told me that you should try going to Thailand. There's this organization called Radion. I went there and it was a life-changing experience for me. One question that I had from that short-term mission trip was, how can I, with my education, help underprivileged communities abroad?
It's been 4 years since Daryl graduated with an economics degree. And since then, he's been working full-time for Radion. But his parents had very different hopes for him.
You know, when I first told them that I wanted to go to Thailand, they were honestly shocked. And then they started to think that it was just a phase. He'll be back, he'll come to senses. I had this hope in my heart that one day they would come up, to see what we are doing here, the good work that we are doing for these children.
Besides having a roof over their heads, the children at the shelter are also taught key life skills to prepare them for adulthood.
So this is the children's laundry area.
Okay.
We actually get the older kids to do their own laundry, whereas
That's
for
good.
the younger kids, we'll have a staff to do the laundry for them.
I can imagine in Singapore, they don't get to wash their own clothes until they're teenagers,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So come Robin, let me show you the children's shelter and also where I myself stay.
Oh, you sleep with them?
Yep. So Robin, this is where our children stay.
Right.
Every child in our center is tagged to an overseas sponsor who actually send in monthly fees to support the child's schooling, the child's medical bills, and the child's living expenses. We adopted a capsule hotel concept. So each of the child has a personal capsule. It was something really new for the children. It made them very excited. And now it's like home to them. So this is where I sleep our head.
Wow.
Yes, this is exactly what every child has in this shelter.
Okay.
What we have is a fan for ventilation at the back and also to keep out mosquitoes.
Right.
And each capsule we have a light for reading and PowerPoints. I think it's a very simple lifestyle and really teaches you how to...
Daryl doesn't receive a salary for his work. His only source of income comes from his church in Singapore. It provides a basic allowance for his living expenses.
Coming into this line of work, working overseas, my whole idea of stable life, climbing the corporate ladder, starting a family, getting married, all of that got tossed into uncertainty. But I think that has taken second place to what I feel is my calling and my passion in my life. When I first started working in Radion, my family was not exactly supportive. จ้าทำอะไรทำอะไรเมื่อเช้านี้แปรงฟันไหมไม่
2 years into his work, Daryl's parents finally decided to visit him.
About 2 years back, I would ask them whether you want to come. To my surprise, they said, yeah, sure. And that was really like an answered prayer for me because it was an opportunity for me to share with them why these kids mean so much to me. Right now, both my parents are happy sponsors for 2 children under our program.
Daryl's parental support has been a pillar of strength during his time at Kek Noi. But for many of the elderly in this village, the warmth of family is sorely lacking. When I asked about children, at that moment it dropped.
Her weight has increased.
She said she had 7 kids, right, and 4 of them died of dengue. I felt a bit sad, like it was almost, there was hope and then it was gone. When we reached, it was almost like a gate to another world, a third world. I could see despair, I could see poverty. It was all over. I'm Robin Ho. I've come to the remote village of Kek Noi in Thailand. This 17,000 strong village is at the transit point of the drug trade between the Golden Triangle and Bangkok. Impoverished, substance abuse here is rampant.
It's a very harsh environment and it takes quite a lot to adapt to. Personally, since I was working here, we've attended more funerals than birthday parties, honestly. Crime rate is high. We see deaths every day.
Daryl works at Radion International, where he helps to run a children's shelter.
โครงการของเราจะทำให้เด็กมีสิ่งแวดล้อมที่ปลอดภัยที่นี่เพื่อที่จะได้รับการบำบัดและการศึกษาที่ดี
He also lends a helping hand to the community wherever he can.
So today we'll be visiting an uncle being assisted under Radion's village outreach program for the critically needy and terminally ill villagers in this community.
So are these homes?
We are actually currently in a farm. The average villager's household will look much like this. Bamboo walls, zinc roof, dirt ground, no proper water supply or electricity supply.
Right. So it's just right in front of the house?
Yes, this way.
Let's go.
Many
Many of the young and able leave the village for the promise of a better life in Thailand's city, leaving the elderly alone to make ends meet. How is his health condition today?
ปวดกลาง ปวดหัว
back
เข่า
pain,
และคอนี่
and knee pain, and then around the neck pain also.
อยู่คนเดียวก็ลำบากครับ
This
มีเพื่อนที่หา
Twice a week, Daryl and his staff visit villages like Uncle Deng. They bring much needed relief, including food, medical care, and even personal counseling.
ต่อปาโดปาหมอรูเซียดีเรื่องปาอีปวดกาเซียปาโตยัดโตลงแต่สาแต่รู้ไปอ่ะเขานำมาเขาลงเกิดเนี่ยเดี๋ยวในที่รู้จริงยัดที่โตเลยไปอ่ะนี่น่าหาตัวอะไรปลอม
Okay, so Uncle Deng has actually given us permission to have a look around his house.
There's no walls. I mean, look at it. It's just netting around just to...
Yep. Yes, you can see it right over here is netting. It's in the winter is that it gets very incredibly cold for the villagers. And during what we call cold snaps, when the temperature dips very low, some of the elderly actually die in the cold. Especially during rainy season, the hospitals around here will be fully warded up with patients down with dengue fever. You can see that there are a lot of stagnant water spots around. Villagers are not very aware about this issue. We will actually run a lot of programs where we would start to educate them about how to prevent dengue, how to prevent the breeding of mosquitoes. That's why our village outreach program is very important.
Thank you. The second home visit was Auntie. She was sitting there. She was looking happy. She had lunch already?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Nhớ trò chỉ mua dù mong chỉ tàu cái luôn rằng cho on đang luôn luôn.
She actually said that she was afraid that she'd get fat and hence didn't want to eat another meal. But I'm not too sure. I think she's probably trying to save up for the next meal and all that. Zhu Setao is a healer. She performs massages and provides herbal remedies, which earns her a small income of about 7 Singapore dollars a day. When I asked about children, at that moment it dropped. She said she had 7 kids, right? And 4 of them died of dengue. I felt a bit sad there. Like there was hope and then it was gone. I really admire Daryl, despite all the dangers, the uncomfortable, and having the patience to talk to these people and understanding their condition. It's dinner time at Radion, and I'm making myself useful by preparing food for all the children. What does a kid eat every day?
Usually for one meal we prepare 3 dishes, one vegetable, a bit of meat,
Yeah.
and some egg and rice.
It smells good.
But for children outside, often they don't have get this kind of quality of meal. Oh, so this is Lisa. She's usually the talkative girl of the lot.
thank you จริง
ยังไม้ล่ะไม้อายุเท่าไห
ๆ
ร่
หนู9 ค่ะ
Oh, she's 9 years old.
Oh, okay.
Daily livelihood income per family of less than $5 a day. Families as big as 5 to 6 members per household have to ration on about 2 or even 1 meals per day, and usually 1 meal could just consist of just rice and salt. When I first came into Radion, one of the shocking experiences I had was when I was stationed in the field office, and a 15-year-old boy actually walked in. He would sniff glue, and he would be high on glue, intoxicated, walking around almost intoxicated. We asked him, why do you choose to sniff glue? His reply actually shocked us to the core. He told us that if you had just 20 baht, would you use your 20 baht to buy a bowl of noodles, which would keep you full for about few hours? Or will you spend that 20 baht on a bag of glue that will keep you full for days? So that taught me about the complexity of poverty. Many of our communities are born into these conditions in an uneven playing field. They were born into an unequal world. I decided that I wanted to dedicate my life to making the world a more equal place for people like them.
I've come to Thailand to meet Daryl, a young Singaporean working at a children's shelter.
Many of the families that we see in the village, they struggle to make ends meet, they struggle to put their kids through school. Without proper education, the children continue within this poverty cycle.
ที่เรดิออนเพื่อนๆของหนูเหมือนครอบครัวแล้วก็พี่ๆเขาค่ะพี่เดโลคือเหมือนที่ปรึกษาของหนูสอนให้หนูเป็นคนดีมีน้ำใจให้กับเพื่อนๆค่ะเหมือนเป็นคนที่มีน้ำใจมีเมตตาเหมือนพี่เลี้ยงแล้วก็เป็นพี่สำนักงานที่ดีมากค่ะ
Lisa is one of the 18 children who live here, aged between 6 and 12 years old.
อธิบายนิดหน่อยนะครับวันนี้เราจะไปกังหันลมนะใครไม่เคยไปยกมือจะไม่มา
วันนี้หนูจะไปกันหันลมค่ะเพราะว่าหนูไม่เคยไปหนูเพิ่งจะได้เป็นครั้งแรกค่ะเพราะหนูตื่นเต้นเพราะหนูไม่เคยไปค่ะ
วันนี้ตื่นเต้นไหมใครจะเมารอดนะหลังจากที่ปล่อยใช่ไหมครับมาครับพี่ก่อนนะโอเคพร้อมไปยัง
พร้อมแล้ว
โอเคขึ้นรถเลย
ขึ้นไปกินบ้างไม่บอกกูนะข้าวคะข้าวข้าวคะ
Medicine to prevent motion sickness is a must for many of these children. This is one of the rare moments the children get to travel out of the village.
พระองค์ทรงควรที่จะได้กันโภชนาเพราะพระองค์แสนดีเพราะว่านักร้องนั้นเพราะว่าหนูชอบฟังเพลงนะคะแล้วก็ชอบร้องเพลงด้วยหนูก็เลยคิดว่าเป็นนักร้องมันจาก
When children come into our shelter, some of them are very discouraged. They have seen so much failure in their lives. Putting them back in school, they think that they will just fail again. So if I could sum up one message for this excursion, it would be hope. Hope for a brighter future. Hope that one day these children may reach their dreams. I saw a very satisfied smile on her face. I've never seen it before. That moment was very memorable to me because that was the moment when she started to believe in herself again. And when a child believes in herself, suddenly nothing is impossible for her.
I know that they have gone through a lot in their lives, and I think Radion provides a very safe haven for them and makes them feel comfortable. And they're happy living in this condition, and they feel that there's hope. So Daryl, what keeps you going on?
You know, Robin, I think you need a lot of passion for this work. Interacting with children like Lisa, she'll never know the love of her father. She may never know the love of her mother. And people always ask me, what keeps you going? What gives you so much passion? It is the desire to tell children like her that there's someone out there that still loves them.
That's really inspiring.
Thank you, Robin.
Daryl has given so much to this community. So I want to do something special for him. The last part of my mission was to cook Daryl a meal, a Singapore meal. I cooked him the Teochew braised duck. From research, I found out that he was Teochew, and I wanted to give him an authentic feel. So Daryl, dinner's served up. So I hope you still recognize this dish.
I do, Robin.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Tell me what it is.
It's duck.
Yes.
Roasted duck.
Actually, no. You've been away for Singapore for too long, I guess.
A little bit, I guess.
He thought that was a Johnson duck, but you know, it actually was a Teochew braised duck. So it was funny. So Daryl, how is it?
Well, Robin, this is actually really, really good. Yeah, and it really reminds me of home. The last time I had this with my family was last Chinese New Year. Wow. Yeah, so really brings back a lot of memories.
So Daryl, I got a last surprise for you. I actually cook enough for the kids. Hope is important for the children, especially in this case where they've been through a lot, and they need to see there is a better world out there, where there is hope, there is something to look out for, there's a brighter future. I think it's important to give these kids that sense of confidence